Welcome back to Grim Advice with Gretta Myers. You've entered the grimoire. Let's turn a new page together. Alright. So, no Saturday special last week, which is fine. I have wiggle room to do whatever I feel needs to happen. It's fine. So now I will just give you the little look-see into the week ahead, little future reading, whatever. So today we're doing the Louse and the Flea. Tomorrow or whenever is the Girl Without Hands, then Clever Hans, the Three Languages, and finally Clever Elsie. A lot of cleverness. A lot of hands sounding things. We'll see what happens. Let's get funky with it. I don't know. But we'll see. It'll be fun. Okay, so without further ado, the Louse and the Flea. A louse and a flea kept house together and were brewing beer in an eggshell. Then the little louse fell in and burnt herself. At this the little flea began to scream loudly. Then said the little door, "Little flea, why are you screaming?" "Because the louse has burnt herself." Then the little door began to creak. At this a little broom in the corner said, "Why are you creaking, little door? Have I not reason to creak?" "The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping." So the little broom began to sweep frantically. Then a little cart passed by and said, "Why are you sweeping, little broom? Have I not reason to sweep? The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping, the little door is creaking." So the little cart said, "Then I will run," and began to run wildly. Then said the little garbage heap by which it ran, "Why are you running so, little cart? Have I not reason to run? The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping, the little door is creaking, the little broom is sweeping." The garbage heap said, "Then I will burn furiously," and began to burn in clear flames. A little tree stood near the heap and said, "Little garbage heap, why are you burning? Have I not reason to burn? The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping. The little door is creaking, the little broom is sweeping, the little cart is running." The little tree said, "Then I will shake myself," and began to shake herself so that all her leaves fell off. A girl who came up with her water pitcher saw that and said, "Little tree, why are you shaking yourself? Have I not reason to shake myself? The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping. The little door is creaking, the little broom is sweeping, the little cart is running, the little heap is burning." At this the girl said, "Then I will break my little water pitcher." And she broke her little water pitcher. Then the little spring from which ran the water. "Girl, why are you breaking your water jug? Have I not reason to break my water jug? The little louse has burnt herself, the little flea is weeping. The little door is creaking, the little broom is sweeping, the little cart is running, the little heap is burning, the little tree is shaking itself." "Oh-ho," said the spring, "then I will begin to flow," and began to flow violently, and in the water everything was drowned. The girl, the little tree, the little garbage heap, the little cart, the little broom, the little door, the little flea, the little louse, all together. What? Okay, first off, I apologize. That thing is a tongue twister. The whole thing. It just adds on and on. And the fact that it says little, so many times. Okay. First off, of course, these are German tales, so they gotta get in that brewing their beer somehow. German stereotypes. Wait, they lived in an eggshell. A, that's perfect for reasons I will mention in a second. B, how the heck are they brewing any beer in an eggshell? Like, it's like not even this big. Okay. So, we've noticed a pattern. Each thing becomes progressively crazier and worse, and then they all die at the end. So there's that. So let's break it down for a second. First off, it's perfect that they live in an eggshell because their situation was already fragile. Yeah, their situation was already fragile because they lived in a little eggshell. Maybe it was big. We don't know. But considering it's a louse and a flea and an eggshell. Okay, secondly, let's talk about the butterfly effect again. I know I mentioned this a couple of videos ago. I don't remember which one. It was one of them. And truly, you see how one isolated event created not only mass panic, but the death of people. Yeah. Okay, then let's talk about traumatic situations like loss. I mean, first off, the louse is still alive at the end, enough to be drowned at the end. So, but it's still a loss and a scary thing, and so the flea naturally reacts to that. But as you get more and more removed from the situation, people just tend to, they freak out more and more. Like, the girl at the end broke her water pitcher. It didn't say that she necessarily knew the flea or the louse or any of these people, really. She just saw that people were freaking out, and so she's like, guess I better freak out too. Breaks the water pitcher. And this is an important thing to note, that sometimes when we see other people freaking out around us, we're like, well, I'm not freaking out, so clearly something must be wrong with me, so I better freak out like 10 times bigger than everybody else to compensate. Or maybe it honestly did make sense to the girl for some reason to break her water pitcher. Maybe she was like, oh, the louse burnt herself, so I must, fix this by breaking my water pitcher so that water will go places better, so that this won't be able to happen again. And then if that was her reasoning, it makes a little bit more sense. But they don't give us the reasoning, because that's kind of we're kind of supposed to see if we can interpret. And secondly, to notice is that no one went back to try and help the original problem. They just freaked out themselves. First, circling back for a second to what I was just saying, is that a lot of the times, people will freak out bigger if the problem isn't close to them. Like, let's say a bunch of people did really bad on a math test because a teacher hadn't explained a concept well. If you were one of those kids, you might have been like, that sucks, I did bad on a test, and you told your friend about it and whatever. But then it spiraled to the point that someone who wasn't even in the class or necessarily even in the school was freaking out about it because they weren't a part of the original situation and didn't understand as much. You picking up what I'm throwing down? So just because someone's having a big reaction to something doesn't necessarily mean they understand what's going on 100% of the time. And that's okay. That's valid. I mean, look around us. Do any of us 100% understand what's going on? No. And that's okay. This is a hard situation. all situations can be really hard for different people. And so, if someone's freaking out, and you're like, she's breaking her water pitcher for no reason, well, do you know what's going on in her head? No, you don't. So, I mean, it's valid to look at someone and be like, because that's where you're at. You're looking at someone and you're like, what? What are they even doing? And that's valid. However, let's turn back and be more understanding. We can strive to be that. And then earlier, I cut myself off, and I totally forgot about it. Oh, yes. So, the situation escalates. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because each person is freaking out, and then they see another person, and they're like, what? And then they freak out. So there was this study that I was introduced to, and I don't remember who it was by, but it was a very valid and interesting study that if a chicken A, was exposed to, like someone popped a balloon by it, and it was exposed to a startling noise, and then chicken B is introduced, and because chicken A is freaking out, chicken B starts freaking out, they'll both, build off of each other and freak out more and more and more. However, if chicken B comes along, is like, I don't see any problem. Yeah. And it's just chill, and then chicken A will actually calm down. So, obviously, dialectic toast. There's times when it's a good thing to freak out, like if someone's freaking out, they're like, oh my gosh, just got robbed, and the guy is the person in the ski mask, guy or girl, I don't know, the person's still out there, oh my gosh. And then person B is like, I don't see no robber, so we good. Obviously, that's not the best reaction. However, if they do stay calm and they're like, okay, what did they look like? What was their height and build? They logic it out instead of being like, ugh! You know? So obviously, because at the very end, everyone drowns and suffers because this one person, the river, freaked out, and then everyone suffered, and we've all been in this situation like that where something happens and then this person is like, and we've all been that person. Most of us have been that person where something happens and we just completely lose it for no reason, and everyone around us suffers and we suffer. So, I just said suffer a bunch. Is not good. Is not as good as not doing that. So, So, here's my point. You might come to a situation in person, chicken A is freaking out. And you might not necessarily know 100% why. And maybe they can't explain it to you right now, but if you stay calm, and I know that's really hard, don't get me wrong, it's really hard when person A is like, ah, and you're like, what's wrong? And they're just like, and you're like, and that's frustrating. It is. But if you stay more calm than person A, they will come down to meet you. It might take a hot minute. Especially depending on all the situations. If it's something really serious, it might take a couple days. Or weeks. We don't know. But if you stay calm, if you try your very, very, very best to stay calm, person A will come down to meet you, and it's a pretty cool experience. And if you are person A and you're freaking out, if you're at all able to express, it's like, look, I know it's frustrating that we ain't vibing right now, and then this is the situation, and I'm really freaking out and I can't express it. Just give me some time. They'll be like, oh yeah, chill, okay. And they're more likely to give you time once they know that that's what you need to come down. Yeah. Yeah. And so, we all recognize that not all of us are going to be able to be in a place Or we can be either person A and person B in an ideal situation where we're vibing and we're able to like communicate or stay calm or calm down or, just any of the things I've just described. That's the ideal situation. It's valid to not be the ideal situation at the moment. Is it ideal to strive, once you know what the ideal situation is, to strive to be there? Yes, that's a good idea. However, you're valid if you're like, I can't. I can't right now. I can't. And you know what? You're valid. You are valid. And we all get it. We're all vibing with the fact that everything sucks right now. And a lot of times, like, things just suck for people and people don't even know. So, let's all strive to be a little more understanding, a little more zen, a little more like Chicken Bee. So that the people around us who are not vibing, who are not zen, can come down. And so that they'll do the same for us when we are Chicken A. Because we all have those moments. Alright. So, thank you for joining us for this happily ever after, or not so happily ever after, especially if you're allergic to chickens, because, man, I talked about chickens a lot. I don't know, I was vibing, it was good. So, either way, it is the end. It's up for you to decide whether it's happily ever after, but it's the end for the episode. So, tune in later and we can turn a new page together.